And welcome back, everyone, to the Matinee Review, where two friends talk everything entertainment, such as movies, animated features, television shows, video games, cartoons, and comic books. I am Justin.
I am Akili.
Hello, everyone, and hello, sir.
Hello, everyone, and hello to you, sir. How are you doing?
Not bad. Had a little bit of rain. When I say a little bit of rain, it dumped. So that was cool. We need it.
We also had a little bit of rain. It only dumped kind of like in one little big wave, and it kind of came through real quick. But yeah, we felt it for a little bit.
But yeah, everything here it's all right. Getting things ready for a bit of a change, bit of a move.
Oh, yeah?
I'm gonna get myself out of here, this area that I'm at, and head up your way, sir. Get things going.
You don't say.
I do say. You folks thought we were adamant about this now.
Oh, boy.
Just wait until we're actually in the same city.
Facts.
My God.
Facts.
My God.
It's going to move.
It's just going to...
It's going to move.
It's going to blow up. Got things in the works. Things down the pipeline. Things, what is it? We got, what is that? We got to, what's that? The fingers in the pot, hands in the, what a foot? No, I don't know.
Right. All that.
We got plans.
We do.
We got plans.
It's going to be, plans to take over the world.
Yeah.
It's going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. I want to give a good couple shout outs real quick. We always run down what we talk about. One of the things we talk about here on the podcast is music. So I want to give a couple of music shout outs real quick. I was very fortunate to be involved in a little bit of a music video shoot yesterday.
Hey.
For a buddy of mine, Travis King.
Nice.
And he is Mr. 49er Faithful. He makes music for the San Francisco 49ers, the national football team, sports ball. And he asked me to come out. For those who may not know, I play little drums from time to time. So we used to be in a band, Cali Cove, as in California, and Cove, like, by the water.
Right.
And so he asked me to come out and just kind of show up in this music video. So I used to be a really super big diehard Raider fan, so it felt a little weird to actually be wearing 49er stuff and doing things. But I wanted to give him a shout out. So it's Travis King on Instagram. Like I say, he's also on TikTok. Check him out. He's been making some good music for the 49ers, so I wanted to give him a little shout out. And then I also wanted to give a shout out to the artist's name is Dr. Leo Marvin. He came out with a little album called Cold Spirit. It's available on all platforms. Another good friend of mine. The only thing I can say, this is what I had to contribute to the album, is I was the person who had him meet the guy who became basically his main producer and his music maker. So that's it.
So it's all because of you, is what you're saying. Everything is all, well,
nope.
You know what? Good.
Not at all.
Well done, man.
Not at all.
Good job.
Not at all.
Oh, no.
Not at all. No, it's all those two. Maybe if he comes around to playing some live shows, maybe he'll let me play some drums for him. So that Cold Spirit album, you can get it on Spotify, Apple Music, anywhere where you can find the Matinee Review podcast, you can find Cold Spirit, Dr. Leo Marvin. And if you don't, some of you might recognize the reference of Dr. Leo Marvin. If you don't, that was the name of the doctor in What About Bob?
Bob?
Dr. Leo Marvin, the movie with Bill Murray and Richard Dreyfuss. He's Dr. Leo Marvin, so that's where the reference is, for those that didn't get it right away.
He can wear my slicker.
Yeah.
Bob.
So I wanted to just make sure I got those two music shout-outs, and check them out.
There it is.
So that's basically what's been happening with me, just kind of getting that music news, and it was nice to sit behind some drums and kind of play again, and now I just need to start practicing for a possible Blues Brothers band I might be getting involved with.
Oh, you don't say.
Yeah, I do say. We'll see what happens.
Yeah,
we'll see what happens. Yeah.
Yeah. I'd like to learn a little bit more about that. We'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. Yeah. We'll talk. We'll talk.
All right. That's awesome. Everything is well, and that is good.
Yeah. Everything's okay.
Yeah. We're doing. We're definitely doing.
Yeah, we're doing the best we can.
You know what else we can do?
What?
We could do some news.
The news. Let's get into the news. What's the buzz? Tell us what's happening.
There's a lot of stuff happening. At this point, Black Panther is out.
Hey, Bombay!
We don't know exactly what the numbers are. I'm sure they're great. I'm sure they're insane.
I'm sure.
They're already predicting that it's basically this weekend is going to make more than what Black Adam has made this entire time that it's been out.
It's weird.
It's also kind of a dumb time.
Two entirely different movies.
I have to say, on Warner Brothers' part, maybe not the best of time to have released said movie. Because
how long were you going to wait to bring it out, though? I mean, Black Adam had to come out.
Like, yeah, I mean, it took about 15 years to make.
That's what I'm saying. You're only going to continue to push it back. Like, you're not, you know what I mean?
Right.
You just have to drop it and hope for the best.
But, I mean, when it comes to at least ticket sales, I don't see it beating Black Panther.
Nah.
So I would say that its run is pretty much over at this point.
Yeah. It did the best it could have done, I think.
We'll see.
You know what I mean?
We'll see.
Yeah.
You know, maybe people are like, hey, cool, let's just keep seeing comic book movies. And anybody who hasn't seen it already might just keep going, you know, and seeing
That's what I'm thinking.
You know,
I mean, there's a lot of people, you know, that are just kind of waiting for certain things like that to come to streaming now. Like, if it doesn't, seems like if it doesn't wow off the weekend, if it doesn't blow people away, then people are happy to wait for streaming now, you know?
Yep.
Got that feeling with Black Adam. Like, I know a few people that saw it. I still might just go walk into a theater at a matinee. Haha.
Hey.
My lady works Sunday. I don't know if she's interested to see Black Adam, so I might take her to work Sunday and then walk into a theater first showing and just get it out the way and just watch it.
There it is.
Cool.
But yeah, when it comes to Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, director Ryan Coogler has come out and dropped some info about Namor and how damn strong he is.
Tell us.
It turns out he's pretty damn strong.
Yeah?
Let me just go back to exactly what he said here. And I love the power of editing because all of this little bit gets to go.
This running editing time brought to you by Chan Time.
Okay, so.
Yes.
When talking to Marvel.com, he said that there is no equal in terms of his capabilities. Being able to breathe underwater and breathe at high altitudes and walk around on land, he is incredibly strong. He can be as strong as Thor, and he is as strong as the Hulk if he's around enough water. So we're about to see some stuff.
Oh, there's a knocking on the door. Hold on a second.
Hey, cool. Keep recording.
Okay. She's got some stuff. Okay.
Sweet.
That was a nice, sturdy knock. I like it.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. That was like a knock that like demanded your attention, but then like that's all they had to do. So it's like, all right, they didn't have to knock it off. They were just going to leave it at the fucking door. That was a sign for a knock.
If it was the side of the hand, if it was a closed fist, it would have been the cops.
Yeah, that was like a close fist, good rapping on the knuckles. That was, like I said, that was like a sign for it knock. That's why I was like, oh, yeah. So I wouldn't even have gotten up. But, you know, I thought that I was like, oh, that sounds important. I mean, so
yeah, it was.
All right. So yeah, I think we're gonna see some shit. I think that the trailer's already shown us just a little glimpse of like, hey, this dude's not just gonna be kind of a punk. Almost a thing where it's like, also you have to remember he can fly. There's gonna be a lot of that because he's gonna be doing
breathing
this.
At high altitude.
Yeah, he's gonna be doing this stuff in the water, and all of a sudden it's gonna be like, and it's like, oh yeah, he got wings on his feet. Dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I mean, he's basically a god. Right? I mean, so it makes sense that he would be as strong as Thor, in my opinion, because he's basically a god, no?
I mean, he's basically a mutant.
Okay. So he's basically a god.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. I'm excited to see this Namor. Like I said, I'm juiced with the Aztec theme that's surrounding. I think it's real.
Oh, yeah.
Real solid. I'm a fan. I'm a super fan.
Yeah.
I already know I have a circle of friends that are like, they're already convinced they're probably going to see it twice because they're trying to set up a thing where we all go see it. And then it's like, we want to pick a date where we all go see it. Now, we know that most of us will have seen it by then, but we know we will see it again, but we all just want to see it together. So if my circle of friends are already accepting the fact that they're going to see it twice, that's one of, there was 6 people there that day. So you can only imagine come the 11th, you know what I'm saying? So it'll probably get to a good 99 by the time the 11th comes around, the big world drop. So
yeah, it's only with 81 reviews at this point. So 94% with 81 views. So we will see.
I also get the feeling that there's like a lot of people that are going to be like, no one wants to be the first to give this a bad review. Like, even if they don't like it, they're going to be like, well,
right.
it was very well done, and fans of the series will enjoy it. Like, no one's going to be
I'm sure there's going to be plenty of people out there that's going to want to be the first to give it a bad review.
Oh, well, because there's always that one. There's always going to be the one.
Yeah.
We have a word for people like you. You know what you are? The party pooper. So there's always one. So there's going to be somebody that's going to be like, well, for a follow-up to the sequel of this, I wasn't much impressed. There's always going to be somebody. And, hey, opinion is opinion. But I feel like right now, no one kind of wants to be the first. I think no one wants to be the first big one. Like, everybody's going to kind of be like, it was well done. That's like the worst thing they'll say about it. It was well done.
Oh, I'm seeing words like triumphant. So, we'll see.
We'll see.
I can't wait. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. It's also the final movie in Phase 4.
Yes.
Of the MCU.
I look forward to my father's reaction to the movie, because I feel like if he was like, the one bad thing I had to say about it was just, it was more black on black crime, I'm going to turn around and be like, there you go, Pop, black on brown crime. That's better, right? It's like, Dad, they're not going to let us fight white people. That's not going to look right. It's not going to look right. Robots are aliens, and they've destroyed all the robots and aliens. So, I don't know what to tell you, Dad.
Some of the people in this are blue.
Sorry. No.
Right.
I don't want to make my dad sound like that. He's not for killing white people. It's just making revolutionary jokes. Everybody calm down.
Calm down.
Calm down.
Alec, calm down.
As our good friend would say. Calm down.
Damn it, Branches, calm down.
Cool.
All right. So, being that, yes, I said this was the end of Phase 4 of the MCU, we have a new head of the DCEU.
What?
Yes, James Gunn, director of so many good movies, but also director of the Guardians of the Galaxy movies.
Yeah, and the Suicide Squad.
Yeah, oh yes.
Yeah.
Is going over to the DCEU.
This is very good news for everyone, I think.
Yes.
For years, I think we've even done it here. I know I've done it for a few years in circles. People have been scratching their heads and just, why can't they get it together over there? Why can't it just run? Who's running the ship? I feel like they finally found a guy that's going to get it done. Do you think Suicide Squad and how he handled that was kind of like an audition? Or do you think he was always maybe going to be the guy? How do you think they came about choosing James Gunn? Have you read? Because I haven't read anything. So
they gave it to somebody else, and then
it was the Discovery dude, right?
Or was fired.
Yeah,
and then they, I guess, gave it to him. I think that he was definitely on the list, and he just kind of, was like, oh, well, I've got a vision.
Yeah, I have ideas. Yeah.
And supposedly, boy, does he have a vision at this point from what he said.
Let's go.
Again, paraphrasing. But he basically said that they acknowledge the fans and their want for stuff like the Ayer cut, for the, director's cut of the first Suicide Squad movie. And then there's other stuff that's being canceled because of Discovery taking over Warner Brothers, and they don't want it being canceled. And they said, we acknowledge that, and we get your love for said properties, but at this point, we're not trying to focus on the past. We're trying to focus on the future. And from what he said, to be able to tell the biggest story ever told. So I don't know what that entails. It could be a whole list of things that happened in the DC universe. So we will see. But they've got plans. They've also, if anybody has not seen Black Adam, I have not seen Black Adam yet.
I have not seen Black Adam.
But everybody knows, even before the movie came out, that Superman has returned, that Henry Cavill himself is back as Superman. So that's pretty cool.
That's very cool.
Everybody's excited about that. But Jason Momoa got really excited recently about something else. He went on to whatever form of social media that he went on and made a little video. And he wanted everybody to note the date, November 6th, everybody. This is the day. He got some of the best news. And he is so excited, and he can't tell anybody. But he got some of the best news there was. And he is just, Yeah. And then in another interview, he said that he's now getting to do something like a dream come true project coming up. And that's all he could say. And then recently, James Gunn.
Is that necessarily DC related, or is he just talking about something he's?
Well, he's talking about DC at this point,
and a dream project.
Dream project. Now,
Where
also
he plays Aquaman. I mean, he's not playing anybody else. So,
well, is he?
Interesting.
Here's the thing: James Gunn recently just dropped a picture of Lobo.
Oh yeah, he's perfect.
Who else?
Yeah, he's perfect.
Could play it, right?
He basically is now, Lobo. He's if Lobo became Aquaman.
Well, yeah, exactly. Exactly. So maybe at this point, if they're revamping everything, it might confuse some certain folk, but
no.
I mean,
at this point, no. I mean, if
he's so perfect.
If we can go from Johnny Storm to Captain America, we're good here.
Right?
We're
okay.
good.
Well, then there you go.
Yeah.
I hope that's what's going to happen.
So you can go from Aquaman to Lobo, no problem. We're good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But cool. Moving on.
All right. Cool.
Did you hear Daniel Kaluuya is a punk?
No. I mean, he's a little ornery in Nope. He's a little fidgety in Get Out.
Yeah.
He's kind of deadpan in Black Panther, but he's fantastic in oh man, the movie where he plays Fred Hampton. I forget the name of the movie, but it's Lakeith Stanfield's in it too. He's fantastic. That's some of my favorite acting from him. So,
well, he's going to be spectacular in the Into the Spider-Verse movie because he's playing Spider-Punk. He is officially a version of Spider-Man. So I can't really say that Daniel Kaluuya is a punk because Daniel Kaluuya is Spider-Man. Spider-Punk, excuse me. So I guess I can call him a punk. What punk, man? What a Spider-Punk.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so that's good. Get some of that money. Dig it. I mean, not going to be in Black Panther 2. He had the time.
Right.
Not like he's doing press runs or anything. So yeah, sign up, get that money. Keep staying in not necessarily the MCU, but keep that Marvel money. Do it, man.
Well, it might actually be somewhat connected to the MCU due to the fact that, from what I heard, Tom Holland is one of the Spider-Men that he's going to come across in the next movie.
Cool. Cute. Dig it.
Let's just connect everything.
Right.
Everything.
Why not?
Right.
It's all just one big thing.
Yes.
Yeah, no. We don't need to connect everything. You know what I mean? There should still be some good one, whatever happened to the one shot.
Oh, they're going to do more of those.
Sometimes you need to get a one shot. Where it's just like, this was a good movie. You mean
like the Groot? Like the Groot shows?
No, I'm talking about good movies about a character, but it's one movie. It's not connected.
Oh, one movie, not the Marvel one-shots. I get it. Like just one-offs.
Yeah, like little one-offs.
Yeah.
Yeah, not the shorts. Not the little shorts.
Right.
I don't think of those as one-shots. That's right. That's what they officially call them. I just think of those as shorts.
They call them Marvel one-shots.
They do call them Marvel one-shots. So I'm talking about like one movie that's not connected, that's just about that character. That's fun.
Because you can't do that anymore. Everything has to have a sequel.
Nah.
Everything has to have a sequel, man.
Nah.
Can you imagine if they didn't make a sequel to Ben Affleck's Daredevil? Oh, shit. Never mind. But what I'm saying is that everything has to have a sequel.
Did they make a sequel to Daredevil?
Yes, they did. It was called Elektra.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think I've seen Elektra one time in my entire life.
I saw it in the theaters with my friends and walked out and went, that was, I want that back. I want that time back. I want it back. I wanted to go back to them and say, you know what? I know you can't give me that money back, but how about an hour and change of my life? Can you do that? Can you find me like an hour and 30-minute hourglass? I will accept that.
That was in 2005? I thought that was way earlier than that. Good Lord.
Speaking of time, wanting time in my life back, Avatar 2 is going to be 190 minutes.
Wow. That's a long runtime.
Yeah.
I was sitting there trying to think like, okay, why does it need to be 3 hours? I'm like, okay. And I'm like, oh, I know why. It's because James Cameron needs to show off like every single quote unquote revolutionary shot and trick that he's been able to do in the last few years because he's got to make it feel like it's yeah. I really don't care. I don't think I'm going to see it.
There's going to be a lot of shots of people in the water looking at things and going, hey, wow, look at that. The way that the audience is going to be, hey, wow, look at that.
I think I'm going to wait.
It's going to be 3D, and supposedly this 3D
then I really
is the
then I really
next
can't
revolutionary 3D. He's figured it out.
Nope.
He knows now.
Has he figured out a way to have it be in 3D where you don't have to wear glasses?
I'm thinking not, but he's figured it out.
Then no. Then are the 3D glasses going to be big enough like goggles to cover over regular glasses?
Probably not, but they should start selling.
Then 3D it has no excitement. Like, I love that whole thing where like, I when I tell people like, yeah, I'm not a big fan of 3D movies, and they're like, why not? And all I have to do is point at my glasses, and they're like, oh, right, like,
yeah, yeah.
Like when people are like, I thought you were a gamer, you haven't done VR gaming yet. I just point at my glasses, they're like, oh, right, like, yep,
yeah, yeah. They need to figure that out.
No, they don't need to.
VR gaming and everything.
They're going to tell you should go get LASIK. That's what they're going to tell you. You should fix your eyes. We don't need to fix what we're doing. You should fix yourself. That's what they're going to tell you. So until then, fuck 3D and VR because it doesn't work for people like me. So they don't need my money. That's fine.
What about contacts? Contacts would work, right?
Contacts might work. Yeah. I don't want to like, have a fear of it falling out. Two, like really sticking my fingers towards my eyes like that. Like, I'm good.
Have somebody else do it.
Nah, I don't like people like that.
If somebody else stick their finger in your eye and put it, yeah, that'll make it even more comforting.
Not without the safe word. Most people don't know that, so they can't just. That's a whole thing. Yeah, pay me for that.
There it is.
So yeah, for those that are like super excited and super love Jake Sully and the Water People, and if you've never seen Fern Gully or any of those old movies, that's just a
Dances with Wolves.
Dances with Wolves or The Matrix or Last of the Mohicans.
Right.
If you've never seen any of those movies, first of all, do yourself a favor, go watch those movies. And then watch Avatar. Then, if you want to spend 3 hours to watch Avatar 2 in a theater, see, maybe it's not so much that like it's 3 hours long. Maybe it's that I don't want to watch it in a theater for 3 hours. I'll watch it at home for 3 hours. Easy. There's a lot of die-hard Avatar fans out there, so it's going to make money. People are going to go see it. And yeah, I won't be wanting to see it in the theaters. I'll wait till it comes to a streaming platform, and I'll be able to sit and watch it on my own time and break it up. If I'm there for an hour and like, yep, I'm not feeling it, I'll watch it later, and I can stop and come back later and watch it. I'll do that.
But you don't want to know having had the experience of watching all 5 Avatar movies in the theaters?
Nah. That's an easy and hard pass for me. It just did not speak to me like that. Like, I understand, like I said, Avatar has a lot of fans, but like, I'll ask somebody real quick, did you enjoy the story of Avatar or just how the movie looked? Because there's two different distinct things. Because the story of Avatar is not that compelling. It really isn't. Like, I didn't feel for those blue people. I didn't feel for Jake Sully. Are the Americans so mean? Well, yeah, we're Americans. It didn't break my heart when like the tree died or whatever. Like, I did not care about any of that stuff. Now, what I did care about was like, man, this is a really good looking movie. Like, this is kind of dope. There are some good visuals, but I can do that at home. I'd rather try to pay for a good story. Like, if you're going to get my attention for 3 hours, that means in a sense, you're talking to me for 3 hours. You're telling me a story with the visuals there. But I'd rather close my eyes and you tell me the story and I can think of my own visuals.
Right.
For like a basic story. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's called an audiobook.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's my thoughts of,
yeah. And
if you're telling me this is 2 of 5, then I'm going to get off the wagon here. I saw the first one. This is where it stops for me. That's all the story I care about is that first one. I don't even really care about it that much. I don't own Avatar. You know what I mean? No disrespect to people that make it or the people that act in it, because I love me some Zoe Saldana, but I'd rather watch you be green than watch you be blue. We're just being honest. If I have to pick the color, I'm picking green. Give me green, Zoe Saldana. Yeah, I'll take the green. Don't you have to keep the blue at home? Hit the
racist.
Hit the water. Go back in the water. I'll take some Gamora. I don't even know her name in Avatar. What's her character's name in Avatar?
I don't know, but you heard it here, folks. You heard it here first. Akili doesn't like blue people.
you know, the Smurfs gave me some good attention when I was growing up. Blue Man Group makes some really good music. Eiffel's
You're just trying to backpedal what you said.
that
That's
Eiffel
all.
band made
That's
a
all.
song called Blue,
Yep.
which is catchy.
You're just don't tell me your best friend's blue too, right? Yeah. All right.
Um,
Okay. Yeah. You got a blue girlfriend? Yeah. All right.
I
Okay.
mean, I don't know. I don't know if she's sad. If she's sad today, she might.
2022, man. You need to get with the times. Okay.
No blue.
That's all I'm saying.
No blue people. That's where I draw the line. No blue. No blue people. Can't use them.
Man.
Don't need them. Get out of here.
This might get edited out too. We'll see.
We'll see.
But I think that was the news for today.
The news. That was all the news.
So the topic of the day, the meat and potatoes, as you
Oh,
would like
is it
to.
meat and potatoes time?
Yes, it is.
Oh, it's time to eat.
Let's sit back, relax, everybody, for a nice big old helping portion of meat and potatoes. Brought to you in part by Chantams. Extra garlic on that meat, extra garlic on them potatoes.
Extra.
Because that's the way Chantam always serves it. Chantams.
Get your eyes nice and watery. That garlic. Garlic.
So we've got a lot to talk about in short portions. Yes, that's right, folks. It's the Tales of the Jedi shorts.
Star Wars Tales of the Jedi, everyone.
I quite enjoyed it. How about you?
I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it was very well done. I thought that, it's a nice good helping of Star Wars.
Yes.
And it definitely helps to not necessarily fill some gaps, but now you have a better understanding of certain things and decisions and storylines and things like that. You're like, oh, okay. So I enjoyed it a lot.
I would say it definitely filled some gaps in terms of definitive yes or no when it comes to certain characters. I guess we could just get right on into it.
Let's get into it.
Starting off with episode 1, though interesting how they started it off this way, but that's okay.
Episode 1, Life and Death.
Yes. So I don't know why they started with Ahsoka. I mean, I'm pretty sure that she was not born before Qui-Gon was in his later 20s. Because I'm skipping ahead slightly. I'm sure Qui-Gon was at least, 17, 18 in that episode?
Maybe a touch older.
Right.
Maybe. Couldn't been any more than that. Yeah, no. Yeah.
Right. So it was a good while before Ahsoka was born.
Yes.
Why'd they do that? I mean, come on, folks.
Well, I say, maybe get the cuteness out of the way, wrap it up, and
I mean, I would have started off going with the movies, and then the last 3 episodes just being a Ahsoka trilogy would have worked just fine. But that's okay. I get what they were doing. Because they couldn't put it in the middle. But whatever. Let's actually talk about said episode where it does start off with a village and a very excited father for he has just had a child, and they name her Ahsoka. What a twist!
the town is elated. Homie dude comes out. If he could pass out cigars, he would be. I got a kid. I got a kid. Super juiced. And her name is
He'd be
Ahsoka.
handing out death sticks.
You're right.
Death stick for you. Death stick for you. But why? I mean, it's in the title. Don't smoke it. So, not much to explain really about the episode where you get to, I guess, see the tradition of the villagers that was also being explained by the father that's kind of dying out those ways. Like, why think about the past? You don't need to do any of that mumbo jumbo, you know,
Sure.
as they
Right.
said in episode 7, even though that's
Yeah.
a term that's not really, used in, never mind. That's okay. That's okay.
Yeah.
To get into semantics here, but come on. Anyways.
Yeah. Mama's got to go hunting and takes little baby with her and them, but not before village elder gives her their old Simba mark, and then they go out a hunting and everything seems to be going well. She's looking at dandelions and shit, and then fucking the biggest freaking tiger in the world comes up and tries to kill their vibe.
Right. It had a very He-Man, Masters of the Universe feel to it. And I was just waiting for him to come out and go, "Oh, I'm so sorry, wrong cartoon."
Well, I tell you, he definitely feels like he's in the wrong place when when Ahsoka does her thing. I was joking when I was watching. I was like, man, the tiger got real conflicted. Like she touched his nose, and all of a sudden he had a look like, man, I'm supposed to eat you, but I don't.
He said that to her. Those 2 growls that he gave was just like, damn it.
You're right.
I'm hungry.
Right.
She's looking back like, the fuck I give.
Right. He was drooling. He was ready for the snack. Not only did he not eat her, he had to go take her home. He had to be an Uber. He's like, God damn it. Like, and I can't eat you. And I feel compelled to take you all the way back. And then I just have to walk away. Man, I don't like it. But I guess I have to do it.
It really seems like either they're not really touching on the fact that she is, well, great with animals, and they didn't touch on that really. I don't think her whole tenure of being in the show of Clone Wars, or that's something they're setting up for.
Had that not been brought up before? Because even Kayla, when we were sitting there watching that moment happen, she's like, "Oh yeah," because Ahsoka's really good with animals. I'm like, "Is she? Is that a thing?"
I guess I have to watch through the entire season. I remember Ezra being the one who can force connect with animals and was really good with them. I don't remember Ahsoka being animal lady, but I don't know. We'll see. It's either a setup or they just kind of went, oh, this will be good for showing how she's good with the Force.
Later in life, when they give her a pet tiger, everybody will be like, oh, okay, cool.
Right. It's also the 2 scars on the arm, you know, the identifiable marks that can later on down the line be like, oh, it's you. Do you remember me? I'm tall now. Using the Force, though. I can talk to you. Star Wars, Disney. Yeah. I don't know.
Cool.
We'll see.
And that's pretty much episode 1. They go back. Well, see, the tiger brings her back, and they're like, she is Jedi. And it's like, all right. And so there you go. Fucking life and death.
Whee! And then shit gets really dark.
Which is why, again, I think that's why they started with this one. Let's get cute and nice out of the way. Because after this, then it's all, it gets a little real.
Yeah. Anywho, let's get to the second episode.
You'll like the name of this episode. The name of this episode is called Justice.
I actually did kind of go, hey, when I saw that come up on screen.
Look at that.
Cool. Yeah.
Just get a screenshot of that and put that up somewhere.
Seriously. This one was really cool. The next 3, 2, 3, and 4 are just really cool. We get to see young Count Dooku and a very young Qui-Gon Jinn.
Yeah, a very young Count Dooku and Qui-Gon Jinn, man.
Yeah, and for the episode, young Qui-Gon Jinn was voiced by Liam Neeson's son.
I read that. I thought that was very cool.
Yes.
He's got it down. I think it's great. Ice Cube's kid comes to mind when he had to play his father in Straight Outta Compton, where it's like you can emulate your father pretty well because you've seen, it's your pops, so you're around him, and so like with that, even though he's not playing his pops, he's playing a character. He's still playing a character that his pops played. You're still doing an impression of your father in a way, so it's like you're gonna have the certain cadences and this, that, and the third that your father can do through being Qui-Gon, just because you can impersonate your father. So I think it was a good choice, and I think he did a great job.
Oh yeah.
Sounds good. Good.
And the young Dooku was good too.
Yeah, we get to see the very early beginnings of him going kind of dark when he puts that fucking force choke on the dude, on the senator or whatever, and almost takes him down. And Qui-Gon's like, "No, master," So, and you're like, "Oh, there!" Like you're like right there. You're like, "Oh, there he is."
I was ready to agree with everything that Dooku was doing. I was like, I mean, other than slamming his apprentice, 30 feet back into a barn door.
Right.
But you could see the path that he went down and understand why through what he's saying. And even when you get into his final episode, it's even explained to him, but it just ends up being used. So it's interesting. But this episode was a really cool hostage negotiation episode with a little twist.
Right.
But it was cool.
Yeah.
I enjoyed just also seeing Dooku with a blue lightsaber.
Yeah, that image of just him pulling it out and just it pops up and it turns blue and you're just like, oh yeah, right. That image was super powerful. Mm-hmm. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, especially it's being the same lightsaber.
Right.
He's got that fencing style, no beard, younger with the blue lightsaber. That was, yeah, heck of an image. And, Qui-Gon still looking, he looked like he did from the movie The Bounty. The image of young Liam Neeson, it brought into Clone Wars fashion. They really based it off of just younger images of him. And when I was watching, I'm like, well, down to the hair almost.
Yeah.
It looks like he does in The Bounty. Anybody hasn't seen The Bounty, I don't know, what is it, the third remake of that movie? The one not with Marlon Brando, but with Mel Gibson, Anthony Hopkins. Gosh, it's got Liam Neeson. It's a heck of a cast.
A 1984 film.
Yes.
Oh, I think this is that movie that has that scene I think this is the movie that has that scene where Ralph Garman and Kevin Smith, when they do their exquisite acting, it's about like scenes where actors did overacting. I think they did a Mel Gibson scene from this.
Oh, I'm sure it is. It's probably the
film
one where he ends up like screaming in the air and
something's like it's too late. It's too late, and he just you fucking
Anthony Hopkins just yelling back at him. It's just like they're barking at each other. But Anthony Hopkins is fucking amazing in that movie too. He's just a prick.
I mean,
he's just an awful
Anthony Hopkins, man.
Yeah,
out-act just about anybody.
Yeah, that whole scene even has Daniel Day-Lewis in it, where you watch the movie and you go, how did Daniel Day-Lewis not get cast as Superman at one point?
This movie's got a good cast in it, man.
Yeah.
I think I've only seen the movie once, but yeah, no, Mel Gibson, Anthony Hopkins, Laurence Olivier.
Fucking Laurence Olivier.
Edward Fox, Daniel Day-Lewis, yeah. Liam Neeson, yeah. It's
got a good soundtrack, too.
Yeah.
Same composer who did Blade Runner. Vangelis, I don't know how people pronounce it. Anybody's like, it's not Vangelis? No, it's Vangelis or Vangelis. I don't know exactly how it's pronounced, but same composer. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, well, The Bounty.
The Bounty, folks.
Yeah, check it out when you get a moment.
What were we talking about?
We're talking about Tales of the Jedi.
That's right, episode 2.
Episode 2, Qui-Gon looking like he did in The Bounty, and that was that episode where basically, the town is holding the senator's son, but senator's son's like, no, my dick senator dad's not doing right. So dick senator dad comes through and is like, I'll burn this town. And Dooku's like, can't have that. So stands him down and they settle it. And he's kind of aggressive. And
I liked Qui-Gon's method.
Yeah.
At that point, like, he's like, oh, I can't stop my master at this point, but you can. Go save your dad.
Right. I like that, that Dooku throws him to say, well, you're a wiser man than me, Qui-Gon. You're like, oh, well, if you didn't figure it out by then they throw that right at the end. If you hadn't figured out who that was. Then,
right.
Then it's like, oh, snap.
I mean, that nose. It's Liam Neeson's nose. First it's the face, and then it's the lightsaber. I went, oh, hey, check it out. It's Qui-Gon's lightsaber.
Yep.
That means it must be Qui-Gon Jinn.
Who it gonna be?
And also, if you know that...
Right, if you just know the lore.
Dooku was Qui-Gon's master. But,
correct.
Yeah.
Right, if you just know the lore. then you're like, oh, yeah, who else could it be? Cool.
Then you get into the next episode
Titled Choices. Everybody's got choices. Nope. Yep.
And yep. That was
Nope.
Nope.
Yep.
I could just think of the Sesame Street. No, nope. Yep. No.
Radio. Yep. Yeah. There's a talented rapper that you might have heard of by the name of E40. Has a very good song. It's called Choices. Just that's part of the song. It's just like, nope. Yep. And he's every verse is like, it's like yes and no. It's like this. Everybody has choices, so he's choosing this, that, and the third. If you've never heard the song, it's a pretty good song. Yeah.
I like how you were referencing E40 and I'm referencing Sesame Street.
Hey man, it's all good. It takes all kinds, man. All kinds of references.
One of those moments. It's like I don't know the song. I'll be honest. I have to listen to it, but I know the artist. I don't know the song.
Right.
And
no, I gathered
and
that.
The first thing I got out of it was Sesame Street.
Yep. Yeah, man. It's all good.
It's all right. I'll cut this out.
No, keep that in. That's gold. Everybody's gonna love that.
No.
Because there's people that are gonna know the song but don't know the Sesame Street bit. Then there's people that are gonna know the Sesame Street bit, don't know the song, and we're gonna merge two tribes together, and it's gonna be great. Now we're gonna be a stronger tribe.
The amalgamation of embarrassment. Perfect. This will be great. This will be great.
Choices, everybody.
Choices. Episode 3, Star Wars. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. This episode, we get to see good old Mace Windu.
Being Mace Windu.
Heck yeah. Return of the Mac himself.
And he steals Dooku's job.
Dooku and Windu doing voodoo that they do. I don't know. But no, we get to see one of my favorite parts of this entire whole run of this shows was we get to see Detective Dooku.
Yes.
He's like going through and looking at trees, and there was a great duel.
Yes,
spread out.
Mighty duel. Tracks lead all over the place.
Yeah. Yeah, so he's out there like investigating, like looking at trees and like getting the whole look and getting his Batman on. Like, yeah, no, your story don't add up, man.
Yeah, I mean, and the fact that Mace was like, we should leave now that we know there's something up with him because he's lying and we can go and get the body. We should just leave. Dooku's like, no.
Right.
No, I want to know more.
Right. Yeah. He's like, this doesn't seem sinister to you. And the frustrating thing is like, when he was like, well, yeah, but we have orders. He's like, yeah, but something sinister happened. Like
the fact that he even said, like, would you want her to leave without finding out what happened to you?
What are we doing here?
He responds with, I would want her to follow orders.
Right. He drops that. He drops that great line. He's like, your devotion to rules is inspiring and maddening.
Right.
I love that.
They really kind of drive the point home where you start to see the basic failures of the Jedi, which then led this Jedi, who was a fine Jedi, in my opinion, who raised Qui-Gon to kind of become what was almost a gray Jedi. Not dark side, not light, but just almost that fine line in between. And that's what I saw Dooku as in this. And, just the small little bits of, rules and following orders and all these different things in certain situations where it's like, well, we can figure this out now. Yeah, you could see why he kind of was like, nah, this is bullshit. You guys are dropping the ball here.
I would dare to say, just like a lot of Disney villains, they're taking Dooku and they're going, hey, he's not evil. He's just a little misunderstood in his principles. and this, that, and the third.
Well, I think this is one where you can do that, especially when it comes to the whole dark side and the light and walking the path and just being kind of pushed to one side or the other. And Sidious, or Palpatine, doing his thing, he immediately saw, okay, I can use this guy. I'm going to use this guy. He's already walking that fine line. Now I can pull his strings just this way and that, and he'll be mine. And they show that more in the next episode. But this episode, especially where he's probably already having Sidious in his ear, and then having these moments where it's like, well, you didn't follow the rules. And now that we figured everything out and brought her back, and because somebody died, that's the part that really got to me too, was that he said somebody died and it was your fault because of the fact that we could have gone and come back and done this in a more orderly fashion, basically. And this is your fault that somebody died. Even though that somebody died by my hands, I killed that person, but, I got your job. Somebody died, but it's your fault.
Yeah, and it's great. In this episode, they're sitting talking to the dude about, like, why'd you do this? And one dude's like, well, why didn't you go to the authorities? He's like, the fucking Jedi are lapdogs for the Senate. Like, they only protect the rich and powerful. They claim peace, but, they just keep law and order. And Mace Windu's like, she would have listened, blah, blah, blah. And, and Dooku's kind of like, like, dude's kind of got it. And it's maybe you're right. Maybe, like, at that point, if Sidious is in his ear, every time he kind of hears something like that, he's just like, man, homie dude's right. Like,
right.
I see why Sidious is doing what he's doing. Cause yeah. So yeah. It was at this point I started to really enjoy, like, this is backstory to Dooku that I think is needed. Like, this is really awesome.
I mean,
really awesome. Cause I always felt like in episode 2, he kind of came out of nowhere.
Yes.
And it's really quickly rushed, like, oh, it was you. Oh, yeah, I've been doing this the whole time. Oh, great. Boom, we killed him. He's dead.
Right.
The dude who went rogue one day. And you never got the feeling like, okay, well, are they ever going to give us some backstory to Dooku? And so now you have a little bit of, like, here you go. Like, here's a little bit of why. It's like,
I mean, you got more backstory with the Clone Wars cartoons, but he was still old man Dooku. And you're like, oh, okay, we can see him doing more now. And
correct.
And a little bit more filler story, but not backstory.
Correct.
And by this episode, I was kind of going, I want to see not only a young Dooku Qui-Gon miniseries, like 6-7 episodes of them on their little adventures and the training of Qui-Gon, but then I also want to see a young Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan backstory. We could have a Clone Wars style miniseries of their adventures. It'd be really cool.
Yeah, I think that's going to come eventually. The young Qui-Gon training Obi-Wan. I think that's for sure coming. I could do with like little 5-6 episodes maybe of Dooku and Qui-Gon, but
yeah, kind of like him training him. Just
at the same time, it's like by the time Dooku kind of goes, like, Qui-Gon's already on this, like, certain path.
Mm-hmm.
You know what would be great? Put that stuff in, like, flashbacks of the Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan show, where Qui-Gon's telling him something. He's like, oh, I remember fucking Dooku and blah, blah, blah. Then you show a flashback of, like, Dooku and young Qui-Gon doing some shit.
Right.
That's how I'd like to see it. That'd be cool. Yeah.
Yeah, that could be just, like, even just 2 episodes.
Right.
Where it's all just full on flashback for those 2 episodes, but then it goes right back into.
Then that way you can get like 10 episodes out of your Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan thing. You throw a couple of them, make them little flashbacks or whatever.
You can even add the MacGuffin into those 2 episodes that connects into the final 2 episodes of how and they'll save the universe or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
Dig.
Yeah.
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 Dig.
Yeah.
Dig.
Yeah.
I think that was pretty much it. Yeah, like you said, they go through this whole fiasco, and then it's like, Mace Windu, he took his job.
Took my job. He took our job.
Affirmative action really coming through in the galaxy is really what we're talking about. But, I'm just saying, about time.
Somebody died. I killed them, but it's your fault. Taking your job. I'll put in a good word for you, though. They might promote you.
I think they had an HR meeting and Yoda had to look around and said just like, no people of color do we have on the council? Like, somebody who's up for it's Mace and it's Dooku. Ooh. You know what we don't need on the council? Another white dude. Right. Let's get let's be on the right side of history.
Even White's hair is turning.
Mace Windu, that good old diversity hire. Everybody needs one, man.
Bad this is, even I see. But I did like the whole, I'll put in a good word for you. You know.
Right. Yeah, thank you, Master Jedi.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty much, that's choices.
Choices.
We're going to make the choice to move on to the next one.
Ooh, I like that segue. I see what you did there. Yes.
Trying to get better at them.
Yes. Moving on to whatever the next episode is called.
The Sith Lord.
Well, that explains everything.
Pretty much.
This one had the feel of the moment where Anakin's looking off into the distance and Padme's looking back at the Jedi Temple in that moment where you hear the music get all kind of eerie in episode 3. That whole episode was that moment stretched on, even the point where the same landing pad opens up that, you know, Anakin gets onto and leaves in that moment. But I digress. This episode was cool.
Like the very beginning of this episode, you get to see Dooku doing the whole erasing the plans.
Right.
And so right off the bat, you're like, okay, here we go.
It was him. He was the one who did it.
Yeah.
You know, he used Cypher Diaz's passcode.
Yep.
So it just shows how important Dooku was for all of that. And then we finally get to see and hear Yaddle.
Yeah. Yaddle. I guess Yaddle popped up in episode 1 somewhere. You can see her on the council.
You see her on the council, and everybody was like, wait, that's Yoda with a wig.
And it's like, nah.
It's Yoda with a wig. And like, no,
because for some reason y'all thought he was the only one of his kind. Y'all thought that, huh? Like, no. You get to see good old Yaddle.
And that was voiced by a director of Star Wars series, The Mandalorian. And I think maybe did a Boba Fett episode. Bryce Dallas Howard.
Bryce Dallas Howard, everybody. Yeah. Of good old second run of Jurassic World fame.
And daughter of Ron Howard.
Daughter of Ron Howard. Opie Cunningham, everyone.
Opie Cunningham.
Right. Let's see how many of our listeners know that name.
And that reference, too.
Right.
Come on.
Right.
Yeah, Opie. Yeah, you're Opie.
Yeah, because that's like 2. We're throwing them 2 references.
Right?
2 ones. Yeah, if you can get them both.
You win the golden goose. I got to buy a golden goose.
You get the golden goose now. How much for the goose, Wonka? She can't have one. He talks to everyone like an idiot. That she can't have one. Why don't you call the authorities? Stop. Help. Please. Speaking of assholes, Dooku's got to feel like he's surrounded by assholes because they come and tell him, they're like, yo, turns out the boys were out in Tatooine and they came across a Sith Lord. And he was like, and went to Qui-Gon, was like, I heard about that Sith Lord. I bet they are taking it seriously. And speaking of people voicing things, we get to see the return of good old Taken himself. Liam Neeson comes back to do some Qui-Gon, and he's like, yeah, no, they're not going to take it seriously. And he's just straight up like, all right, well, don't say I didn't warn y'all.
Yeah, the not so subtle, like, please be careful because
I will not protect you when this shit goes bad.
I can't be there, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, to help you.
Right.
Yaddle, don't listen to what I'm saying.
Right in front of all the people who are like, yeah, I can literally sense the Force with you. I know you're full of shit. What's going on?
Even she asks, "Is something
Yaddle's
wrong?"
not about it. Yaddle's like, "What's wrong?" Yeah, Yaddle's like, "What's wrong with you? What are you doing?" Yeah, he goes and pouts in front of the tree, and then
Well, that the pouting in front of the tree is a day or two later, because that's right after Qui-Gon dies in Episode 1, which is I like how they did this, where it kind of like starts off with, during Episode 1, then end of Episode 1, and then just that little in between of Episode 1 and 2. It definitely filled in the mystery of Yaddle if you didn't read the comic books.
right.
And made me want to see more Yaddle, because Yaddle was cool. Yaddle could fight.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, got to see what Yoda would be like a little bit younger, even though Yoda kicked Dooku's ass later on down the line. But
Facts.
yeah,
Definitely gives you a little bigger motivation as to why fucking Yoda would be so hell bent. I'm like, oh no, I'm fighting you.
right.
I know what you did.
Right.
Yeah, I know what you did. We're
Right.
fighting. Yeah, we're doing this.
So yeah, right after Dooku finds out about Qui-Gon, he's basically like, yeah, no, I'm not going to go to the funeral. I'm good. They don't want to hear what I have to say, so I'm just going to leave. And
Well, that and not only leave, but in the back of his mind, he's like, we find out that he's like, not only is I'm gonna leave, but it's like, yeah, I also need an answer.
I need to go talk to Dickhead over here who said
Right.
that, I'm on his side and he's on mine.
Right.
Don't worry about anything. And
Right.
yeah.
And I love just that opening discussion. He pops up. He's like, "You went too far." He's like, "I don't know what you mean." It's like, "You let Darth Maul kill Qui-Gon." He's just like, "I lost an apprentice. You lost an apprentice."
Right.
But
Yeah.
So be it. That's how this works.
It just
Like, woo, yes. You know who's not misunderstood and who's kind of just evil? Palpatine. I love it.
right. Right.
Love it.
Until the
Still,
Palpatine miniseries where we'll find out that he lost a puppy at a young age.
Right.
And it was his father's fault. His father was also a Sith. And
Or, it's just, I forget. Man, did I read the story of, I think I read the story of, well, I think I was in the middle of reading it, and then I started reading something else. Not that I wasn't interested, but I was just like, ooh, and I burned through something else. But I started to read the book that's out there. Well, it probably doesn't count because the books aren't canon, right?
it depends on which books.
It's the book about Darth Plagueis, how Palpatine was his apprentice, and like how he killed Plagueis and blah, blah, basically how he became Palpatine.
That might be canon if it was written after the acquisition with Disney.
Pretty sure it was written before.
If it was written before, then it might not be canon.
Okay, then I don't think
the only
it
thing that
counts.
really lasted was Clone Wars, and I think that's it, because I don't even think Force Unleashed is even canon anymore. So,
No, Force Unleashed is not canon, which is mad unfortunate, but
such a good story.
because Star Killer is a dope character.
Yeah, he is.
And again, they left that second game with a big cliffhanger. Super big cliffhanger.
2 different cliffhangers if you
Yeah.
did
But
both
the one
endings.
to both endings, but like they're like, oh, here's our fun ending, and here's the one we're going to run with when we make our sequel. So the one they were going to run with was the one where he fucking captured Vader.
Mm-hmm.
He's got him holed up in the thing. He doesn't say anything. Fucking, he's trying to get under his helmet. Ha. But like he's just leaving, and he's just like, as long as she's alive, you'll always be fucking my apprentice.
Yep.
Yeah, until you kill that broad. Yeah, love it. And he walks out the room, and the doors close on a captured Vader, and the game ends. And I've been waiting for part 3 since then, and it's not going to happen. So that game is just sitting there in the ethos with that dope cliffhanger. When Starkiller's at his almost like prime, where he probably had like one more level to go to become that dude.
They could do a
That's
whole
okay.
Clone Wars style art of what they would call Legends of the Jedi, not Tales of the Jedi, but Legends of the Jedi. And just any story that is not canon anymore that could be told as a campfire tale told by other cultures and or people throughout the Star Wars universe. poker games, or even like they did at the end of The Last Jedi, with the kid telling the story to the other kids of Luke Skywalker facing down all the First Order. We're going off subject, but we're not going off subject, so that's the
Not
cool
really.
part. But
we're just we were talking about Yaddle. And so we get to see Yaddle follows Dooku and is a part to this meeting between Sidious and Dooku. And Dooku, again, the way they write Sidious to like how he's able to speak to people to get their mind switched and this, that is really awesome because Dooku's given this thing. He's like, I've done everything you asked. You know, I did the Camino and the clones and this and that. And he's like, I betrayed everyone I've ever known. And he goes, no, you've been loyal to a greater cause. I'm just like, man, that is some perfect manipulation. Like, that's so good. That's so good. Like, even when Yaddle walks out and he just goes, oh, so I've been betrayed. And Dooku's like, no. And it's like, man, like, look how quick that happened. You know, even Yaddle's like, I know what you did. I'm not tripping. You need to help me right now. And Dooku's like, nah, can't do it. And
I like that whole part where he's like, I'm afraid. And she's like, I know you are, and it's okay. And he's like, no, I'm afraid that, you know, I can't do this whole Jedi thing anymore. Sorry, you're doomed. And I enjoyed
it's too late.
Just even that more backstory with her talking about how, like, I just stepped down from my position on the council because I can't.
I agree with you.
I can't do this anymore either.
Yeah.
They're not helping the people. It's all about helping the Senate. Not,
the council should have listened.
Yeah.
Qui-Gon did not have to die. Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that Qui-Gon did not have to die part is what tipped him over the edge.
Yeah.
Just sent him into a rage. And that moment where you kind of go, okay, yeah, that's a heck of a way of killing Yaddle, just bringing the door right down on her. And then you have that epic moment with the Force music and her lifting the door. That was cool.
Yeah,
that was cool.
It was very cool. Yeah, it's a cold ending to the episode.
Oh yeah,
it's and the ending of the episode is so well done, where it just goes from like, she's like, so many have died for your so-called order. When he's like, well, then let me give you peace. He fucking brings it down. It goes dark, and then the last thing you see is Sidious giving that slow smile, and that close up on his face. And then it fades to black, and the credits come up. I'm like, man,
yeah,
well done,
yeah,
well done,
yeah,
so well done,
yeah. No, the whole thing made me kind of go, does this make the prequels better? Do these episodes, these 3 episodes, make the movies better, or does it just make you, which it makes me kind of also want them to just redo the first 3 movies in Clone Wars fashion?
Well, I would say, part of me would say, if your option is just to redo the first 3 in Clone Wars fashion, then I would say no, then they don't make the prequels better. Because your instant next go-to was like, but just redo them, which is like, well, yeah, they should just redo them because, you know, and that's not to shit on it. I would say my honest answer is that comes down to opinion. It might for some people. For me, nah. It helps to, like, it just means that when I rewatch the originals, there are certain beats I'll be like, because of this, because of this. I'll say, like, Dooku's determination. Like, I'll save my second part of the answer for after we talk about Ahsoka, but for Dooku, since we're done with his run, it just explains a little more of his drive. It explains why, you know, he never really felt like he was conflicted in what he was doing till it was too late, till like the very end when all of a sudden it was like all those things compounded against him. And then again, it definitely shows Yoda's determination to fight Dooku. Like, just straight up like, nah, this is why. You know, he's got an extra drive, an extra beat in there. And it's funny now looking at it when Yaddle has that moment where she kind of bamps back to the thing and she has the moment where she can retreat, and he kind of taunts her. He's like, running back to your council. Right. And she's like, you know, she stays and fight. When he's fighting Yoda, and it gets to the moment where he can stay and fight, he actually runs away. Right. So it just adds another like, huh. So I wouldn't say it doesn't necessarily make it better, but it just, you have, like you said, fill some gaps where you're like, okay, it makes certain things a little more understandable. Where it's like, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if it necessarily makes it better, quote unquote.
Makes Dooku's story better, but
it makes Dooku's story better. Yes.
Doesn't make the movies themselves better.
Facts. It makes scenes better. That the fight scene between Dooku and Yoda is a little better to me now. I'll say that because I have a little more like backstory and I can put in my head certain narratives, which makes the scene a little better. That I would love to now go back and just watch that fight and just kind of see some things and just kind of look at some things and go, So
there's one thing that I definitely want to see at some point, whether it be live action or in Clone Wars fashion. I want to see the creation of the red kyber crystal by bleeding whatever crystal they had. Because I want to see Dooku take his crystal out of his lightsaber and then do the act of bleeding it to then create the red crystal.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, I want to see what kind of Sith fucking, witchcraft type
throw
of stuff.
Throw that in a Star Wars game.
Yeah.
Should throw that in a Star Wars game where if you choose to go that route, then yeah, you actually bleed out the crystal and you actually get to see the whole, because that could be like a crazy like metaphorical thing too, where you're just watching like someone take something and kind of like destroy it and turn it into this thing. Mm-hmm. If the thought process is a person's destroying themselves to turn to the dark side, it could be real poetic. You can make that kind of like a montage where, say, like you have two people that went through, one goes light and one goes dark. One could be becoming a Jedi and the other could be turning his crystal into red and this and that. And you could take in a montage of this and that. So
yeah, I wonder if they'll do that for the Acolyte, the show for Disney Plus. So we're going to see something that I guess is 100 years before, I guess, episode 1.
Yeah.
See what's going on with that. Get to see a 800-year-old Yoda.
Right. A young man.
Young man of 800 and something.
Right. A young man.
Or 700, I guess, because he just hits 900 in Jedi, or in that time. 900 and something. Whatever. Anywho.
Yeah. We go to the next episode, which is Practice Makes Perfect.
Now, let me ask you this.
Yes.
Does this episode make that scene in the final episodes of Clone Wars where she escapes the Order 66 initial moment, does it make it cooler, or does it kind of take away some of the magic?
No, I think it makes it cooler to me. I think that also comes down to opinion. But yeah, I mean, everything is opinion, so we should say that. But
that's why we're here.
I said when the episode was over out loud, I was like, now we see why Ahsoka is as good as she is.
Right.
And it's like, we should have known anyway, because she's getting trained by the best. But it's definitely, I'm always a fan of like watching somebody go through the shit, like get beat down, get put through the shit, because at the end of all of this, it's going to pay off. So as she's going through the training, as she's defeating, I'm just like, yo, this is why.
Right.
This is why at the end of all this, she just becomes that boss, because this is it. This is the things that we don't see. This is the in-between that we don't see. Mm-hmm. And I'm always a fan of little things like that. So to me, I was just like, no, that's super dope.
Yeah, well, when I first started watching the episode, I went, this explains why she was able to get away.
Yeah.
Then I was kind of like, I liked the mystery of how she was just able to do it. And then the more and more she got knocked out, like, it's like, how long was I out? I was out for an hour.
Yeah.
Like, whoa.
It took a whole 5 minutes that time. It took us a whole 5 minutes to knock you down that time. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The more they drove it home to the point where when you finally see her training on the battleship and how they were talking about, like, yeah, that took even longer that time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just made it, I wouldn't say cooler, but it was nice to see the training.
Yes, I agree.
It was a well done montage of
yes.
of her training, of that specific training.
And then we got to see some old faces. Got to see old Anakin. Got to see Captain Rex. Got to see some old faces. And then
He even brought up Jesse.
Yeah.
It's like, how long was I out? An hour. Right. Yeah, Jesse really got you that time. Sorry, Commander. that was me.
Yeah, nice little ending where he's just like, fucking, I hope that training paid off, and just opened the door, and it's just like, that's a lot of people.
and it connects directly to the final episode.
Yep.
Really cool. Really, like I said, it was pretty good.
Yeah. No, I enjoyed it.
And then we get into the next episode.
Get into the next and final episode, which is called Resolve.
It was really cool to see, I guess, another spin-off moment of the ending of episode 3. Connecting her to those movies was kind of cool.
Yeah, she was at Padme's freaking little walkthrough.
Yeah.
Dig that, man. Yeah.
Yeah, and having her talk with Bail Organa.
Mm-hmm.
Just her acknowledging like that. She was my friend.
Right.
That's why I'm here.
Yeah. The
little communication handoff, like, here's the, you contact me when you're ready.
And then
the confused clone troopers. It's like, if you ever need anything, he starts walking away, and they're like, oh, whatever. the shrug of, what the fuck was that about? I don't know. Fuck it. Guy's weird. He's a senator. And then she goes off and does what she does without any lightsabers because she had dropped them.
She goes and becomes a farmer. What all retired Jedi do, you're either going to being a farmer, or you're going and cutting up random meat for people, or you're just kind of going to hiding, or, that ex-Jedi life.
Either way, you're going into hiding.
Right. And then, it's that same old story. You go into hiding. Someone figures out who you are. Something gets, fucking dredged up, because it's just that. What Star Wars keeps driving home is like, once Jedi, always a Jedi.
Jedi will always do what a Jedi does.
Yeah, Jedi always going to do what, they can't help themselves. It's the curse. I think, it plays with that same familiar trope. Here she is, just trying to mind her own business. And sure enough, there's an accident, and she can't help but whip out the Force, and someone sees it. And then,
Yep.
It's only a matter of time before an Inquisitor shows up.
And that Inquisitor sounded an awful lot like Kurgan from Highlander. Is that the same actor?
Clancy Brown.
There it is.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's a hard voice to miss.
The moment he started talking, I'm like, fucking Kurgan. So cool. The Kurgan.
You lie to me and expect imperial favor. Yeah. There's always one, dude. You know what I mean? That's the thing. And it's always on this list. But I thought I'd get a reward. Look what I did.
Right. I like the old man shaking his head like, you idiot.
Like, kid, we destroy planets. What did you think was going to happen? Your reward is that we're not going to kill you. Thanks.
Right. Not going to kill you first.
Right. So long, and thanks for all the fish. We're kind of brutal here.
Right.
So yeah, we get to see not only fucking does the training pay off for shutting down fucking Order 66, but Inquisitors are kind of like, no problem for Ahsoka. Like this fight is over before it begins, really. It's quick, it's efficient, and, with your own weapon, by the way, because, I just showed up here, so.
She also did the same thing with Maul in the third to last episode.
Yeah.
When she's up on the beam and she doesn't have her lightsabers anymore, and she just takes it from him and then cuts the beam below him. So, it seems to be her signature move at this point of, you think you got me,
Ahsoka
but you don't
was
have
trained by the
even
chosen one, man.
Yep.
She is badass warrior. She's just not,
She's trained by not only him, but by Obi-Wan as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
She was trained by both. She had two dads. But yes, that was a quick, cool move.
Yeah, that was she fucking it's real, just boom, 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 shutting this down.
Why does he disappear? The mask comes off, there's a head, and then it just bamfs and goes away. I remember that's something for extremely trained Jedi?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Don't know what to tell you.
Why'd he disappear?
I don't know what to tell you.
What about the rest of his body? Why did his body disappear too? Just the head? The head disappeared?
I don't know.
So one thing that I'm like, huh? Please explain.
Don't know what to tell you.
Somewhere in the future, explain this.
Don't know what to tell you.
The head disappeared.
A little deflatable mask or something.
Was he really even there?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
What's going on?
Mystery. Space magic.
What a twist.
Yeah, and then, so the town's all burned and shit. And
What a twist.
homie dude's like, sorry and shit. And, yeah,
sorry.
Ahsoka's like, well, here, fucking, I need to get back into the fight. So
I'll give you guys a ride.
right. And then that's Jedi Tales, man. That's pretty much nice. A good 6 episodes of the whole runtime. You'll be looking at like a little over an hour. So if you haven't seen it, pretty much the block out a chunk of time that you would to watch a kind of a little nice little movie or like a nice little like comedy hour, something like that, and just knock out these 6 episodes of Tales of the Jedi.
Yeah.
Do I think they make the prequels better? Not as a whole, but I do think they add some spice to certain scenes and helps you understand Dooku a lot better. I think that's the biggest thing. My favorite takeaway from this is understanding Dooku a lot better. And just, again, I'm just a fan of watching people do detective work, man. Like just watching them look at the tree and hit that and, look at Windu and kind of look at the whole thing and be like, how many attackers you say there were?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if y'all were doing all this shooting, how come there's no fucking blaster marks on your ship? Like, I'm just like, yeah, get them.
Yeah.
Somebody's lying. He lying. And the dude was quick too. The guard shot him. The guards did it. Like, oh, you motherfucker. Mm-hmm. He broke quick.
That was funny.
Yeah. So that was my takeaway from Tales of the Jedi. I enjoyed it.
My takeaway is awesome. Enjoyed all of it. If you want to watch it in a different order than what they give you, watch episodes 2, 3, and 4, and then watch episodes 1, 5, and 6. You'll enjoy it better. That's my opinion. That's my opinion.
That's why we're here.
And this is why we're here. This
Yeah.
is why we're here. And that was the meat and potatoes. That was our meal, folks.
What a good meal.
I am full.
I will say they still used that little, if I could add a little mint to the end of the meal. I did like how it's still that Clone Wars animation, but it's really cleaned up. Like it's super cleaned up.
Yeah, you could tell how it was kind of a test run with those last, 12 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
And even doing Bad Batch.
Yes.
The art was definitely there. You got your template, and then, like you said, it was very clean. It was very smooth. I think it's something that might have to do with the fact, possibly, with the TVs are getting better and crisper, and they need stuff to be even smoother to get rid of any type of judder,
Sure.
frame shaking, or any type of stuff. So who knows?
Yeah.
But whatever it is,
Yeah.
looks great.
Keep doing it. Looks great.
Keep doing it.
Keep giving us more fucking, give us some Jedi tales. Give us some Sith tales.
Yeah, I'm enjoying stuff that fills in story.
Give us some other kind of tales. Some other galleries. Some other little things. That'd be great. Things like this are really good.
Show us Luke with the yellow lightsaber. He did have that.
Yeah.
And even in the comic books right now, they have him with the yellow lightsaber in between episode 4 and episode 5.
Yeah.
Let's see it. I want to see that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Show us more.
Yeah, more of these little tales. More. How do you like it? How do you like it? More. Do it. This just further gets me excited for the Ahsoka show.
Oh, yeah.
And I guess speaking of I have to watch Andor.
Yeah.
So I will burn through that before our next recording time, and we can discuss that.
Adult Star Wars.
Get it. Come watch a crime drama that's just in space.
You like detective stuff, you said.
You like Star Wars, but you don't like your silly light swords and all that shit. Come watch Andor. And come watch some real grit. Come watch a gritty tale. I don't know. I don't know if it's...
With each episode, you go, where the fuck are they going with this? That's exactly what I said with this last episode. I'm like, where's this going?
Just going straight to Rogue One, straight to his death. son.
No, straight to a season 2, and then
Straight to that
Rogue One.
just going straight to that goddamn beach and that goddamn fucking embrace before they turn to fucking ash and smoke.
Ash, nothing.
No,
There's nothing left at that point.
no. Total annihilation.
Good times.
I guess we should tell the people what we're talking about next time. Jay, what's our next meal?
Well, I think the only thing we can really talk about next time is the one, the only Black Panther Wakanda Forever.
I agree.
Yeah, that's priority number 1
I agree.
on the list of seeing anything at this point.
Yep.
And then after that, maybe I'll go see Black Adam and then go, damn, I should have just seen Black Panther Wakanda Forever again. But it's okay.
Well, quick wrap. I did just sit and watch Morbius before we sat down to record.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I mean, how was it?
Well, see, now when I say I watched it, I meant I was playing video games and it was on the other TV, so I wasn't sitting and watching it more than it was on in the background.
You glanced over every now and then.
But I did pay attention enough to it to give it a review, and all I'll say is there's nothing in it that, like, I didn't get excited through the whole movie. Like, there wasn't a moment where I was like, ooh, or like, oh, or like, you know, like, or like really want, like,
When an action scene was about to gear up, you didn't kind of like pause and go, like,
right.
okay, I have to.
Well,
watch this.
because I knew the action scenes would be covered with goo. Like, they had this whole like dripping bleeding effect whenever they went into like these fights.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like when he goes into his echo little vision and it's whole like that whole pulsing thing. It's almost like paint is dripping off of him. And so when he gets into that final boss battle, or whenever he fights like Matt Smith and they're both doing it, then you get this weird, like almost like how like the symbiotes looked when they fought, and it was just a bunch of like stringy looking visions. That's kind of like how it shows up, because they're doing like all these slashes and claw marks, but they're all like have this dripping bleeding effect behind them that just kind of doesn't really work.
There's a bunch of shit all over the screen while you're trying to focus on people fighting in an action scene. Because the action scene probably doesn't look that good without it.
Right.
Well, there it is.
Yeah. Like I said, when I said nothing excited me, I'm talking about even the end little cutscenes where all of a sudden, fucking, spoilers, 3, 2, 1, Morbius. So when the sky opens up and then just Michael Keaton just pops up and he's like, well, I hope the food's better in this place. I'm like, really? That's
your first, that's
the reaction? Like, that's the reaction?
Yeah.
And then it's just like a news thing. It was like, somebody popped up and I guess he's being released. And it's like, oh, okay. And that was how that cutscene ended. And I was just like,
because he doesn't exist in that universe, so he didn't do anything wrong. So
that was
nobody's going, hey, how did this random Joe who doesn't exist and we don't even have a social security number for this guy, how did he get in here?
Right.
That's fine.
Yeah. And then he just flies, and at the end it's just like, hey, I don't know how I got here. Must be something to do with Spider-Man. But I'm guessing a couple of guys like us should team up. And he's like, I'm intrigued. And then it ends, and you're like, so what? Like, I don't. So, you know, it just, nothing wowed me about the movie. Like, here's what I was thinking when I was watching it. If I was like super excited for Morbius and this is what I got, I would be disappointed. That's what I thought. I'd be like, man, I don't know. I don't like it. Yeah. But since I kind of went going like I really don't care, then I even kind of watching it, like I tried to be a little open-minded to it. You know, I gave it, it's like I wasn't playing a video game where I really had to pay attention to that either. It's just trying to get some stuff done. It was just like random exploring in Assassin's Creed. You know how that goes. You can do that.
Right.
You can do that mind-numbingly, you know, because you just really just find the chest. There's the chest. Find the chest. There's the chest. You know? So, yeah, so it was on, and just, yeah, I just.
And that's my review of Morbius, folks. So I'm glad you got to hear Keely tell you my thoughts.
Yeah.
Because that's exactly probably how I'll feel if I watch it.
Yeah.
If being the key word.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But one movie I am going to watch is Black Panther Wakanda Forever.
Yep. That's the next one.
That is what we will be talking about next week. And.
Excellent.
Yeah. So I'm excited. It'll be fun. Can't wait to talk about that one. So, yes, that was the episode,
that's the show.
I believe. That's the show.
All right, we got another one down. Right.
Episode down.
Stamp it. Cut the check.
Cut the check.
Cool.
All right, man. Well, good talking to you as always.
Good talking to you as always. And thank you all for stopping by and listening.
Absolutely.
Whatever you're listening to us on, whether it be like a Buzzsprout or Spotify or Apple or anywhere else where you get your podcast, then we thank you for tuning in and check us out. If you want to get a hold of us, we're at the Matinee Review at Gmail. You can drop us a line, drop us a suggestion.
Yeah.
Something you might want to...
Any ideas?
Talk about. Yeah, ideas, So,
yeah.
Yeah.
We've got Facebook, we've got Instagram, we've got Twitter.
Yep.
We're all over the place anywhere you listen to your podcast. We're pretty much there. And I know there's other places we're going to start spreading our wings and going to other places as well. So.
And you never know who might stop by on your platform and give it a thumbs up or give it a like. So, yeah.
Yeah. Maybe like Doug Jones.
Yeah.
Let's a quick little shout out to Doug Jones here.
Shout out to Doug Jones.
Thank you,
man,
for acknowledging us.
Mm-hmm.
Really appreciate that. And the invite stands. If you want to be on the show, we would love to have you on.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That would be some good stuff. Yeah.
Yes. And
so, yeah.
I also talked to Steve Neal.
Okay.
We will see if he would like to be on the show.
Shout out to Steve Neal.
The invite stands to both of them.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah. Man. So there it is.
Cool. Well, that's going to be our show. This has been the Matinee Review. I am Akili.
And I am Justin.
And we'll see y'all on the next one.
Take care, folks.